Welcome back, guys. Today we are making a Revenge of the Sith style 501st helmet. I've wanted to make one of these for a long time. I want to get the blue right, I want to get the weathering right, I want to make it as close to the movie as I can, and also give a little bit of my own twist to it. I have already painted this helmet. As you can see, there will be no sanding process in this video. This is just going to show how I paint and weather this helmet, and an ease to get this video out faster for you guys. It is very cold up here where I am, and it made it very difficult to record the sanding process, and the drying times were atrocious for this, and I had a lot of issues with paint, so I cut it short. And if you're curious on how I sand these helmets, I do have a couple other videos on my channel showing how I sand exactly a phase 2 helmet, but I will be making a video soon showing how I sand 3D prints in general. But today, we're just gonna get right into it and start taping off the design. Now, before we tape off the design, I almost forgot, we do have to glue on these two little detail pieces. I'm not too sure what they're called, but I'm just using some hot glue to hold them on. They're gonna stay on there really good. You can use super glue, but I just like hot glue. It dries really fast, and it's pretty efficient. So you just wanna glue these on, as well as the other details on the front, and we can get straight into taping this design off. It is one of the easiest designs, besides maybe the 212th Trooper, that you can tape off on a clone trooper. It was really nice to have a very simple design. I've done some complicated designs in the past, and taping can be tedious, and I'm pretty much just eyeballing this. We're going to be weathering it, so if it's a little uneven, that's okay, but for the most part, eyeballing this, you're going to get it pretty even. I wouldn't be too concerned with anything like that, and I'm just using some normal masking tape. I ran out of my frog tape, which is significantly better, but I'm using an airbrush, so I wasn't too worried about leaking under the tape at all. Now we can move on to painting. There's a couple different options you can do, like spray paint, or you can use some liquid latex to mask off the scratches, or you can use an X-Acto blade to scratch off the areas you'd like. I would recommend using liquid latex if you're going to be using spray paint. This stuff is really good right here. You just mask off where you want it to stay white, and then spray paint over. Because spray painting and then trying to scratch with this is a lot harder, because spray paint's a little bit more durable. To get a more accurate 501st color, will be using these three Vallejo paints. Azul, let's see if I can focus it. Azul Magico, gray, or grease neutral from Vallejo, and then some dead white. I just realized they're English right there. Neutral gray, magic blue, and dead white. These are the three I'm going to be using to get that kind of grayish, dulled 501st blue. A lot of people use dark blue. You can. That's how it appears in the Clone Wars, and even in some scenes of Revenge of the Sith. But if you look at the Revenge of the Sith renders, it's this kind of like dull blue. And I really like that color, and I really want to try to replicate it. I'm kind of just going to guess with my eyeballs, and then we'll be using my airbrush to spray paint it on, because it is cold here, and that spray paint will probably take like 4 days to dry. And even then, it's probably still not going to be dry. It's dropping to -40 with wind chill, so I'm not waiting for spray paint to dry. This stuff is also non-toxic, so it's a lot easier to work with. So let's get into it. Now for the paints, I'm just using my airbrush to spray them on. Just have to thin them down a little bit. Vallejo paint is amazing. It can be a little expensive, but I highly recommend it. You can get some amazing colors from this stuff, and especially an airbrush, I know they can be expensive. There are some cheap ones out there. I would highly recommend getting an airbrush when painting things like this. It's a lot faster. The dry time's like instant, and you can get a lot more color variations out of this. And so I used a 60-45 ratio for the paints. I did 60% magic blue, 40 for the dead white, and then 5% gray. But it still looked a little too light, so I came in with some Vallejo ultramarine blue, and I just covered the whole helmet with this. This gave it a little bit of a darker blue, but still kept that like dull blue, still a little bit light. I'm not too sure On the colors, it was really hard to get these right, but I think that ultramarine blue turned out amazing, and I'm really, really happy with how the color turned out. Next up, one of my favorite things to do that's so satisfying is to peel up that painter's tape to reveal some nice, crisp painter's lines. If you do have any leakage, which is okay, just take your X-Acto blade and come in and scratch away the paint. That's the beauty of working with airbrush paint. Even if you spray paint, you can still scratch it away with an X-Acto blade, but airbrush paint is a lot thinner, so it's a little bit easier to scratch off. I am just hand painting the rest of the details, such as the frown, the brow line, and that gray brow piece on the back. I ran out of painter's tape, and I was going to be weathering this, so I wasn't too concerned, but I did come in with an X-Acto blade to clean up some of the edges, just so it can look a little bit neater. But after the details, we can move on to the next step of the helmet. Moving on to my favorite process, we are weathering this thing up. We are going to make it look used, and we're going to tell a story with it. I love to tell a story with all of my helmets and just really shown that they've been lived in. This is the Star Wars universe. These guys are not clean, and the 501st were on the front line. They are covered in mud, dust, dirt, rust. They've been around a while. They're the best of the best. So you got to show that through the story, and that's what I like to do. Some people like clean helmets. Some people like a little bit. I like to really, really gunk these things up sometimes. And for the scratches, I'm just looking at a reference from the movie and then kind of taking my own spin with it. I think it turned out really, really good, and I'm happy with how that turned out. It's also a lot easier because it was airbrush paint, so it came off really easily. And then I'm then going to go into my weather wash, which is just some brown and some black paint watered down pretty heavily. The more paint you use, the thicker it is going to be and thicker it's going to stain. Or if you want to go super thin, you can do multiple layers. I kind of do a nice in-between, and if I need to add more, I can always add more. All right, now we're moving into the gritty part of the helmet. We're going to really show the years and the battles built up in this helmet. Always want to focus on specifically the front cheek indentations and the two indentations on the back of the helmet. That's where the majority of this dirt is going to be built up. I'm just using a mixture of brown, black, dark green, maybe a little bit of orange. Using multiple colors really builds up that realistic bit of weathering. It shows that it's not just one uniform color, it's multiple planets, multiple battles. From ship to ship, these guys have been all over. You want to show that. And then after painting in all of the crevices, we can move into the little cheek stripes. I'm just painting them the same color, ultramarine blue, as we did that main stripe, and wiping away the excess with my finger, or if I need to tighten it up just a little bit, I come in with my X-Acto blade and I just scrape away any overbrushing. Next up, we're going to build up some rust around the ears of the helmet like you see in Revenge of the Sith. I'm just using some yellow, some orange, and some brown, and I'm just mixing them together to get a very rusty color. And for this, I'm pretty much just, without watering the paint down at all, kind of dry brushing it on the ears and wiping it away with a paper towel or rubbing it with my finger. You do kind of want to stain the entire ear with this rust color. You want the main buildup of the rust to just kind of be around the top of the ear. You can do as much as you want, as little as you like, but this paint will really easily stain the white, which is what you want. Builds up that more realistic rust look. And then I just packed a ton of it by dry brushing the top of the ear, and I really, really am happy of how it turned out. After doing the rust around the ears, I wanted to add some scorch marks and just some black, kind of more chipped weather effects throughout the helmet. And I'm just dry brushing. I'm taking a really scratchy brush with all the bristles really spread out. And then I'm just taking a little bit of black paint and just kind of throwing this wherever I want it. It's your helmet. Tell the story how you like it. Put a lot on, put a little on. And you want to make this look very randomized, different directions, different angles. You don't want this looking uniform. And you can't really go overboard with weathering. Just tell the story how you would like it to be told. The last step of the helmet is just using some chicken mesh for the frown. And then for the visor, I use a Hobart face shield. These are like 10 bucks on Amazon. I use them for all my helmets. And then this helmet is all ready to be shown off. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. And I look forward to making more content for you guys very soon. I'll see you in the next one.